The iconic Gladiator arena is back, but this time it's not just about fighting for survival. It's about a new generation of warriors who will fight to honor the past and change the future. The long-awaited sequel to Ridley Scott's Gladiator is here, and with it comes a whole new class of gladiators ready to step into the blood-soaked sands of the Colosseum. In this video, we'll introduce you to the rising stars of Gladiator 2, the new faces, the fresh blood, and the intense action that will make this movie the epic of 2024. The legacy of Gladiator. What's new in the sequel? The first Gladiator movie, released in 2000, didn't just redefine epic filmmaking, it set a new standard for historical dramas. With Russell Crowe's unforgettable portrayal of Maximus, Ridley Scott created a story of revenge, honor, and redemption. That became one of the most celebrated films of all time. It won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor for Crowe, and introduced a new generation of moviegoers to the brutal beauty of ancient Rome. But now, over 2 decades later, Gladiator 2 is ready to carry that torch forward. And this time, it's bringing a whole new generation of gladiators into the arena. With Ridley Scott returning to direct, fans of the original film have been eagerly awaiting how the sequel will capture the same epic scale while introducing fresh faces and new perspectives. So, who are the new gladiators, and how will they honor the legacy of the original? The new blood. Who's stepping into the arena? In Gladiator 2, the story picks up after the death of Emperor Commodus, played by Joaquin Phoenix in the original, with a new set of gladiators emerging from the shadow of Maximus's legacy. These new gladiators are not just fighting for survival. They're fighting to carve out their own place in history. The film introduces a mix of seasoned actors and fresh faces who are ready to embody the brutal world of ancient Rome. The star of the show is Paul Mescal, the Irish actor who broke into the mainstream with his role in Normal People. Mescal has been cast in the role of Lucius, the young son of Commodus, who has grown into an adult in the world Maximus left behind. Lucius, now a man with his own ambition, finds himself caught between the past and the future, struggling with the legacy of his father and the ideals Maximus left behind. Mescal's emotional depth and commitment to his roles make him the perfect actor to take on this complex character. Alongside him, Denzel Washington joins the cast in a pivotal role that promises to shake the foundations of the gladiatorial world. Washington, one of Hollywood's most respected actors, brings both gravitas and intensity to his role. His character, a gladiator who has fought for freedom and honor, becomes a mentor to the younger gladiators, guiding them through the challenges of survival and politics in the Colosseum. Another rising star joining the roster is Sofia Boutella, known for her roles in The Mummy and Atomic Blonde. Boutella plays Aurelia, a fierce gladiatrix who's ready to challenge the traditional gender roles of the ancient world. Her character isn't just a warrior, she's a revolutionary, fighting to change the very notion of what it means to be a gladiator, but the new gladiators aren't just defined by their battle skills. They represent the shifting dynamics of power in ancient Rome. Lucius's ambition, Aurelia's defiance, and the strategic mind of Washington's character all reflect the changing tides in the empire, where gladiators are no longer just pawns. In the game, they're becoming the kings and queens of their own destinies. A changing world. What's different about the sequel? One of the most exciting aspects of Gladiator 2 is how it explores the evolving nature of Rome itself. The film doesn't just focus on the physical battles of the gladiators, it delves into the political, social, and emotional stakes of the empire's future. In the first movie, the Colosseum was a place of death and revenge. In the sequel, it's a place where gladiators can challenge the very structure of Roman society. This is a new generation of gladiators who aren't just fighting for survival. They're fighting for change. They're rewriting the rules of what it means to be a warrior in the heart of the Roman Empire. The Gladiators battle. Power, revenge, and legacy. In Gladiator 2, the new generation of gladiators is not only fighting for survival, they're fighting to change the very system that has kept them enslaved. The Colosseum, which was once just a brutal arena of bloodshed, now becomes a battleground for power, revenge, and legacy. With the fall of Emperor Commodus, the empire is in turmoil, and the gladiators find themselves caught in a new wave of political and personal stakes. Lucius, the son of Commodus, a man torn between two worlds. At the heart of this new story is Lucius, played by Paul Mescal. As the son of Commodus, Lucius finds himself at a crossroads. The legacy of his father looms large over his every decision. He could choose to follow in Commodus's footsteps, a path defined by corruption, betrayal, and cruelty. Or he could try to honor the memory of Maximus, the man who gave his life to save Rome. As a character, Lucius represents the clash between the old and the new, between the corrupt rulers of the past and the possibility of a better future. But that struggle is not easy. Lucius is a man who has seen firsthand the brutality of power and is haunted by the shadow of his father's reign. He must navigate the shifting allegiances and rivalries that come with being a figure of royal blood in a world where power is always at stake. His journey in Gladiator 2 is about much more than personal revenge. It's about understanding the responsibility that comes with his bloodline and ultimately deciding what kind of legacy he wants to leave behind. Paul Mescal's portrayal promises a character that is emotionally complex. Someone who wants to change the world but is burdened by the weight of his family's past. Aurelia, the gladiatrix who breaks the mold next, we meet Aurelia, played by Sofia Boutella, a gladiator like no other. Aurelia's character is revolutionary, not just because of her combat skills, but because of her defiance of the traditional gender roles in ancient Rome. In a world where women were rarely seen as warriors, Aurelia becomes one of the fiercest gladiators the arena has ever seen. Aurelia's motivations go beyond the thrill of battle. She's fighting for freedom, not just her own, but for all women who have been oppressed and silenced in Roman society. Her character embodies strength and resilience, breaking down barriers that have kept women from achieving power in the ancient world. She becomes a symbol of hope for those who have been overlooked, marginalized, and subjugated. What makes Aurelia's character so compelling is that she is not a typical action hero. She is deeply strategic, emotionally intelligent, and driven by a desire for change. She recognizes that the Colosseum is more than a place of combat. It is a microcosm of the empire's power struggles. By conquering the arena, she aims to show that anyone, regardless of gender, can rise to the top. Her journey will be one of self-discovery, empowerment, and revolution, mentorship and rivalry, Washington's character and the tensions in the arena. Then there is Denzel Washington's character, a seasoned gladiator who becomes a mentor to the younger warriors, including Lucius and Aurelia. Washington's character is a man with a deep sense of honor and a past filled with both triumphs and regrets. He is a gladiator who has seen it all, from the highs of victory to the crushing lows of defeat. What's interesting about his role is the mentorship dynamic he brings to the younger generation. He's not just a fighter, he's a philosopher, someone who understands that the arena is not only about physical strength, but about mental fortitude and strategy. His wisdom will be crucial as Lucius and Aurelia navigate the treacherous waters of Roman politics and gladiatorial combat. However, Washington's character is not without conflict. In a world where power is everything, even the most seasoned gladiators can fall prey to ambition. His relationship with Lucius and Aurelia will be tested, and it's clear that the bonds formed in the arena will be as fragile as the alliances in the emperor's court. A changing world. The arena as a symbol of power. One of the most exciting aspects of Gladiator 2 is the evolution of the gladiatorial arena itself. In the original Gladiator, the Colosseum was a place where the oppressed fought for their lives. But in the sequel, it becomes a symbol of power, a place where gladiators can rise above their circumstances and challenge the corrupt systems that govern Rome. Lucius, Aurelia, and Washington's character are all fighting not just for their lives, but for their futures. The arena is no longer just a stage for death. It's a stage for revolution. Power, revenge, and legacy. The core. Themes of Gladiator 2. As Gladiator 2 steps into the shadow of its predecessor, it does so by building on the same core themes that made the original such a cinematic triumph: power, revenge, and legacy. But while the first Gladiator was largely about one man's quest for vengeance, Gladiator 2 introduces a whole new generation of gladiators, each with their own motivations, desires, and struggles. In this new chapter, the themes take on a deeper, more complex dimension, as characters like Lucius, Aurelia, and Washington's mentor figure must navigate not just the arena, but the political and moral battlegrounds of ancient Rome itself.